Students, in this video you will learn about Hopkinson test and field test. First we will see the Hopkinson test. Hopkinson test we can also call regenerative test or back test. Since in this method of testing, so we are using two identical machines. One is motor, other one is generator. So motor and generator both are coupled. Once motor starts rotates, generator automatically will rotate. So we'll get supply from generator itself. That's what this method we can also we can call it as a regenerative test. And two machines, generator and motor, two identical machines are coupled back to back. That's what this test also called as a back test. So these are the other names of Hopkinson test. Hopkinson test we can also call regenerative test or back test. So next one. So this test we are doing under no load condition. No load condition. So this test it comes under indirect method of testing. So thus the full load test can be carried out on two identical shunt machines without wasting their outputs. One machine is made to act as a motor while other as a generator. One machine we have to consider, we have to take as a motor, and one other machine generator we need to take. The mechanical output obtained from the motor drives the generator. So two generator and motor both are coupled back to back each other. That's what one motor output which gives the generator whose electrical output supplies. So generator whose electrical output supplies the greater part of input to the motor. So that's what this test is called, regenerative test. The motor is connected to the supply mains only to components for losses. Since in absence of losses, the motor generator set would be have a run without any external power supply. So no need of external power supply. Once motor starts rotates, generator will rotate. Generator will give supply. That supply itself motor can take, and we can run the motor. So that's what absence of losses in this method. But due to losses, the generator output is not sufficient to drive the motor. The generator output is not sufficient to drive the motor. Thus motor takes current from the supply to account for losses. So motor we cannot run with the generator output itself, since both are identical machines. Generator will have losses. Generator output we cannot run the motor, so that so we need to take the supply to the motor from external. So here motor takes current from the supply to account for losses. So now we will see the experimental setup of Hopkinson test. So this is the experimental setup. So we can observe in this setup motor and generator how it is connected. So motor and generator both are coupled back to back, and here we can observe field windings connections. So field winding of generator is connected parallel to the armature winding, and field winding of motor is connected parallel to the motor armature winding. So this is the rheostats we have connected to adjust the field current, and we have here one switch SPST switch, single pole single throw switch, and across voltmeter we have connected. Once supply is connected to the motor will start rotate. So we need to observe the voltage across the supply, since motor and generator both are running. So we need to apply, since across the switch voltage shows the 0, we need to close the supply. So we need to close the switch, SPST switch. Otherwise we need to interchange any armature connection of the motors or generator. So this is the experimental setup. So we will calculate the field current of motor generator, line current of motor and generator, using the field currents, so we are calculating the efficiency of motor and efficiency of generator. So using this method, so we can calculate the efficiency and efficiency of motor and generator at a time. Okay, so now we will see the calculation part of the Hopkinson test. So where V is equal to supply voltage, I1 is supply current, so current taken from the supply, and I2 also current supplied by generator, I3 is excitation current of generator, I4 is excitation current of motor. Excitation current means field current of generator and field current of motor, I3 and I4 respectively. Ra is the resistance of the armature of each machine. Ra is the armature resistance, and efficiency mu is the efficiency of both generator and motor. So input to the motor, output of the motor, we will see. So input to the motor V into I1 plus I2. So output is equal to efficiency into input. If you multiply, you will get output of the motor. So output of motor will be given as input to the generator. That's what output of the motor will become an input to the generator. Input to generator. Output of generator is equal to efficiency into input. So efficiency into efficiency, V into I1 plus I2, that is equal to efficiency square V into I1 plus I2. So that one you can consider equation 1. So equation 1 you can consider. The output of the generator can be also be given as output of generator. V into I2 is output of generator. So from equation 1 and equation 2, efficiency square V into I1 plus I2 is equal to V into I2. So though both the equations will be equal. So equate and simplify. So simplify. So efficiency is equal to, so root of I2 by I1 plus I2 will get. This is a relation between I2, I1 and efficiency. So similarly here we have a copper losses in generator, copper losses in motor. So copper losses in armature, copper losses in generator is I1 plus I3 square Ra, and copper losses in motor, armature copper losses in motor, I1 plus I2 minus I4 square into Ra. So Ra will come here, and copper losses in field winding of motor V into I3. So copper losses in field winding of motor V into I4 you will get. So here but total losses in generator and motor are equal to the power supplied by mains. So power drawn from supply is V into I1. So stay losses of the both machines V into I2 minus, so losses we have to take. So that is equal to WS. Stay losses we are assuming is a WS. So since we are using two identical machines, so stay losses in each machine will be half of the stay losses. So WS by 2 you will get half of the stay losses. The machine which is acting as a motor, so total losses is equal to I1 plus I2 minus I4 square into Ra plus V I4 plus WS by 2. So total losses means armature copper loss, field copper loss, and also stay losses we have to consider, right? So armature copper loss, field copper loss, and stay losses. So input to the motor is so input to the motor, what we can write, I1 plus I2 into V. I1 plus I2 into V is here. So here our efficiency is equal to output by input. So output is how we can write, input minus losses. So from the input power and losses, so we will have V into I1 plus I2 minus of I1 plus I2 minus I4 whole square into Ra plus V I4 plus WS by 2. So this we have to minus. So from equation 1, equation 2, equation 2 minus 1, so that is equal to output power. So divided by equation 2. So V into I1 plus I2 is the input. So that is the motor efficiency we will get. So this is how we can calculate the efficiency of the motor. Similarly, here we will move to the generator efficiency. So total losses I2 plus I3 square into RA plus V into I3 plus WS by 2. So output of generator is equal to V into I2. So if you take output by output plus losses, so V into I2 by efficiency of generator V into I2 by V into I2 plus I3 whole square into RA plus V I3 plus WS by 2. So this is the efficiency of generator. So this is about Hopkinson test experimental way. So now we will see the advantages and disadvantages of Hopkinson test. Coming to the advantages, the power required for conducting the test is small, since this test we are conducting at no load to no load. So that's what power requirement is less compared to the full load power of the two machines. So if you compare the full load power of the two machines, the power requirement of this test is less. Since the machines are operated at full load conditions, the change in iron losses due to distribution of flux at full load will be included in the calculation. As the machines are tested under full load conditions, the temperature rise and quality of communication quality and communication of the two machines can be observed. So the test is economical as power required to conduct the test is very small, so which is just sufficient to meet the losses. So test is economical. The conducting the test is just power requirement is very small amount. So that's what these are the advantages. So this there is a no need for arrangement any actual load. External setup, external pulley and belt, external load setup is not required. So that is also which gives the one more advantages. Cost requirement for the experiment is less. Similarly, by changing the field current of two machines, the load can be easily changed and load test over the complete range of the load can be taken. So adjusting the field current itself, we can change the load itself. Disadvantages we will see. So disadvantages are so there is very difficult in availability of two identical machines. Motor generator same ratings getting is very difficult. So that is the one disadvantages. We need to choose the two identical machines. So then only we can conduct the test. There is the one disadvantage. The iron losses in the two machines cannot be separated. The iron losses are different in both the machines because of different excitations. The machines are not loaded equally in case of small machines, which may lead to difficulty in analyze. So this is the one. These are the disadvantages. So this test is better suited in case of large emissions. So small size emissions is not economical, not suitable. So this test you can use for large size emissions. Coming to the field test. So this is the one of the test we will use to test the DC series motors. So field test entirely belongs to the DC series motors. So unlike shunt motors and series motors cannot be tested by this method. So unlike shunt motors, the series motor cannot be tested by this method. So which are available shunt motor, as it is impossible to run the motor on no load. So series motor cannot run at no load, since if you start series motor at no load, so it will start high starting torque. So it will start with high starting and it will runs beyond the rated speed. So dangerous speed, we can say that beyond the rated speed means dangerous speed. So armature winding and field winding will get damaged. So that if you want to conduct a field test on DC series motors, always we have to use load. So it may runs at dangerous high speed on no load. In case of small series motors, brake test may be employed. The series motors are usually tested in pair. So two machines we required, motor and generator. So for small series motors we will test the brake test. For large size series motors we will use to test the using in the way of field test. Okay, the field test is applied to two similar series motors which are coupled mechanically. So you can observe in this experimental setup the connections diagram as shown in the figure. So motor, generator. So in this method of testing, so the armature current, field current, line current will be same for both generator and motor, since field current is series with the armature winding in series machine. So that field test, the armature current and field current both will be same. So now we will see the how we are going to calculate the stay losses and efficiency. The resistance R is changed until the current taken by the motor reaches full load value. So this will be indicated by the armature 1. The other readings of the different meters are then recorded. V is the supply voltage, I1 is the current taken by motor, I2 is the load current, V2 is equal to the terminal potential difference of generator. RA RSC is equal to armature and series field resistances of each machine. Power taken from the supply V is equal to V I1. Output obtained from the generator V2 into I2. So these are the formulas, these are the values we will use while we are testing the efficiency of DC series motor. So output obtained from the generator is V2 I2. Total losses in both the machines V I1 minus V2 I2. Armature copper and field losses. Armature copper losses WCU is equal to RA plus 2 RSC I1 square plus I2 square RA I2 square are total stay losses WT minus WCU. Total stay losses is equal to total losses minus WCU. So stay losses of the one mission per mission. So WS is equal to WT minus WCU by 2. So here the total losses in the mission. So total losses in the mission is equal to WT minus WCU. So per mission how we can take by 2 we have to take. So we cannot separate the stay losses since these two are coupled, motor and generator are coupled. So that's what we cannot separate. For motor, how we will calculate the efficiency. So input power to the motor is V1 I1. Total losses is equal to I1 square RA plus RSC plus WS. Output of motor is equal to input minus losses. So V1 I1 minus losses you have to take output. Input is V1 I1 and output is input minus total losses. So the efficiency is equal to output power by input power. So efficiency what we can get is V1 I1 minus I1 square RA plus RSC plus WS by V1 I1. This is the efficiency for motor. Similarly, you can also calculate the efficiency for generator. So generator efficiency is of little importance because it is running under condition of separate excitation. So till it can be found as follows. So output of generator V2 I2 and field copper losses I1 square RSC and armature copper losses I2 square RA. So total losses armature copper loss, field copper loss plus stay losses, total losses. So I2 square RA plus I1 square RSC plus WS. On input to generator, so input is output plus total losses. So finally efficiency of generator output power by input power. So output is V2 I2 and input is output plus losses V2 I2 plus I2 square RA plus I1 square RSA plus W stay losses. So this is the efficiency of generator under field test. So this is about Hopkinson test and field test. So you practice these derivations well. So even this experiment will do electrical machines lab 2. Okay. So in next video we will see about 3-phase induction motors. Okay. Thank you everyone.